morning, guys. Allison here with you on this Saturday morning. I think I'm live. Gonna wait for a second. I see someone jump on. That's great. Hey, Frank. Frank, thanks for being the first one to always get on. That's great. It makes me happy to see you. Good morning. Oh, hey, everybody. It's Saturday. I'm in my reading room. Yeah, do your best. Thanks, Frank. In my reading room again. I know that last time you saw me, I had these shelves up behind me, but didn't really have much on them. I am chipping away at getting some books back up there, which is great. And got our candle going so we can be reminded of God's presence with us here. And you can see I have this edition of the daffodils up there. So those are from my backyard. I had a friend yesterday give me a great idea. She said, why don't you just go clip those daffodils and bring them inside to make your house a little more cheery, since we are all sheltering at home. We have the stay-at-home order, and I love it. It was hard for me at first to cut them. It's weird. I thought, oh no, I'm stealing from my yard, but I really love having them. They almost look fake. They're so pretty. I'm wondering, are you guys doing anything to brighten your space in your houses, since we're spending a lot more time in them now? I'm curious. Let me know if you have any good tips on how to make your home more cheery, more peaceful. Flowers are a great way to do that. I'm sure some of you with kiddos are maybe displaying some artwork in that time that they're drawing. Amos, shelves. Yeah, so shout out to Amos. He installed these shelves. Well, we did it together. It was a good project. Measuring them was a bit interesting. Like, how far apart do you need to put your shelves so that you can have space for your books, because you want it to be practical but not so far apart that they look goofy. So I think we got it. I think it's looking all right. Aw, Emily says Kate Thomas had a great idea, and so she is now also writing out Bible verses on your deck door with a whiteboard marker. Nice. That is awesome. Painting stained glass, that's a great idea, especially with Easter coming up. I love that. Yeah, writing out truth, writing out blessings to each other. Such a good way to do it. That's awesome. Well, it's 8:32, so I suppose I'll go right into what we're talking about now. And actually, writing out Bible verses outside, putting stained glass up on your window, those are both really great examples of something that I want to talk to you about today. So first, I want to start with this verse from Proverbs 16:24. It says, kind words are like honey, sweet to the soul and healthy for the body. And I was really intrigued by this idea of comparing our words to honey. That is, honey is something that we know has a lot of antimicrobial properties. It helps with seasonal allergies, and it tastes awesome. And so I thought, well, there's got to be something to explore here about our words being compared to honey. And I just want to take a minute today to think about this idea of spoken blessing or encouragement for each other, and how we might fit that into our spiritual workout. The Bible is really full of blessings. Jesus blesses, the priests bless people, kings bless people, children bless their parents, and the old bless the young. And really, this English word that we have for blessing is pretty weak and shallow compared to what the Bible really defines it as. We kind of think of it as this warm, fuzzy feeling that we get when someone says how nice we are, and then we say back like, oh, that really blessed me. But then in the moment where you're not so keen on somebody, it's like, oh, I take that back. You're terrible today. I don't feel that way about you. Never mind. I take back all the nice things and all the prayers that I said for you. But really, when we look at the Bible, it starts out in Genesis with this idea of blessing. Abraham was blessed by God to be a blessing to all the nations. And it's basically a biblical blessing is a way to give identity to somebody. It's a way to say how your faith is going to be passed down your family line. And it came with wine and food, it came with land, but it's basically a way to name who's going to be the head of the clan. And it was really how they formally gave worth and value to each other in the Bible. And so we just see it modeled that our words actually have really genuine and lasting power. It's a power that can be used for good or for evil, right? And so that old nursery rhyme, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's actually the furthest from the truth in the Bible and what God says about our words. And I think we all know that words can actually hurt a lot. You can all probably think of negative or mean-spirited words that have been spoken over you. Maybe they were even offhanded, but they kind of stuck. And the reality is that words pass into us, they become part of us, and they are still doing this inner work of basically informing how we feel about ourselves and what our narrative is about our self-worth. And so words can either bless or curse, but either way they're not neutral. And I just know that so many people in the world feel more cursed than they feel blessed. But really, words are truly something that can either make or break our souls. And so it's a great thing to think about, a practice of using our words to build people up. I was reflecting on times where I felt like I was truly blessed by words, and God brought to mind two instances. One was when I was ordained at our church here in Chester Springs, and the other was when I finished my spiritual direction training. And both of those instances for me felt like just this deep sense of being grounded in who I really was, who I was called to be, what my gifting was, what my talents were. And those times are just etched in my memory. So when I'm having a hard day and I really struggle to show up as the person I want to be, when I really struggle to believe that I'm doing the things that God really is calling me to do, I can go back to those moments where I had words of affirmation and love spoken over me. And so this is a way that words can bring sweetness to our souls. And so I just want to encourage you guys today that blessing people, that's a deep work of spiritual discernment of who the person is, and then this idea of calling it out of them. It's not just good wishes for somebody. It's not like, hey, you're the best teacher we've ever had. And you know what? That feels great to get that kind of affirmation, but the reality is somebody's going to come along with better skills and who's actually a better teacher than you. And then that just sits more like a comparative statement. So true blessing has nothing to do with our performance in the moment. It's not about that. It's not flattery. True blessing means we take time to really say, who did God make this person to be? And then we get to call that out of them. We get to use our words, our actions to empower them to become more and more of who they get to be. And really quick, the other thing I just thought about with honey, thinking about our words being like honey, is that honey is really viscous. And so I think Potentially it was even used as like a barrier, a protective barrier when there were wounds on people, and it prevented infection. And so if you think about the power of our words, we have all been stung by words. We've all been really deeply wounded by people's words. But if we use words that sit as a sweetness or sit like honey, then we're actually doing something to help heal each other with our words. So that's a really powerful thought, I think, for us to consider. But I want you to know you don't have to wait for like big threshold moments or milestones in your life to use blessing like the ones I described. You can start right now in your day-to-day life. And what better time to do it when we are all having a lot of contact with our families. So you can start right now by trying to just catch your spouse or catch your kid being their truest self. That's a good way to think about it. When can you catch them being genuinely them? And it might sound something like, hey, I notice you're really happy when you are coloring or drawing. And I just want to say, I think God made you creative, and I love the way that your art helps me remember God's love. Or maybe it's with a coworker, and you just simply say, hey, I saw you being really patient with that client when they were super confused and annoyed and even mad at you. You kept your calm, and I just want you to know that was a gift to that person, and that's a gift to us in this firm or this group. And I love that, and I hope you keep doing that. That is a way to bring blessing to people. And I know for me, one habit that I'm trying to make is with Amos. I'm trying to catch him in really sweet dad moments. And I will say, sometimes I have a really rough day and I go back into my space of catching him doing things more in a way that I wouldn't do them. Like, oh, that was just the wrong way to wash that bottle, or no, don't change the diaper like this. Okay, so those things are not blessing. But even if I end up speaking those out over him, what I'm trying to do is go back at the end of the day and say, you know what, you're a good dad. You are a good dad, and I saw you today. You made Isla laugh so hard when you were reading the Pout Pout Fish for the 15th time with her, and you bring joy to her. You guys increase each other's joy, and I just want to bless the joy that you bring to people. So even if you mess up, even if you are somebody who feels like, man, I'm actually more quick to like speak criticism, I'm right there with you. We can get better at this, and it's amazing that just like that honey, the corrective word, the blessing, this is who you really are and this is who I really value, does something to heal. Does something to heal even when our words have been unkind earlier in the day. So I just want to leave you with that encouragement. If you're not in the habit of speaking blessing like this, it might feel a little strange at first, particularly with your kids or teens maybe who don't think it's cool. But it might be a little awkward, and that's all right. I would just encourage you, keep trying. It's going to be worth it. Another option, since we are all quarantined right now, is you could actually write out blessing in a card, a little note, and just send it along to somebody. Maybe start with one person a week, and you say, okay, I'm going to take 5 minutes, think about what are the characteristics of that person that I really love and admire, and then even just pray. Say, God, who is this person to you? What do you love about them? What can I call out of their life so that more of that increases in them? And then write the note and send it along. And, I also have tried to just pick one person a day to send a text to, purely with the intention just to bless them, not to get information, not to say, how you doing? Which is also great to do for people, but this is just a text to say, I see this in you. I love this about you. I appreciate this about you. God made you this way. I bless it. I want more of it in your life. Send those cards along. I love getting real mail. I'm sure you guys do too. Like most of the time it's junk mail or snail mail, or not snail mail, junk mail or bills. but getting real mail is the best. So that'd be a great way to do it this week. So whatever you're doing already, keep it up. I'm so thankful that our church is good at this naturally, but you know what? The thing about spiritual practices is they can only increase. There's only room for more. So whatever you are trying on, I just bless that for you guys this week, and that maybe we could consider the power of our words to really build people up. So I just want to close with a prayer for you, and then we'll go on our day. All right, so Holy Spirit, would you come? God, I pray that you would bring to mind, even now, maybe a time that we've been deeply wounded by words. And I just ask that you would begin to heal that in us, God. Heal that through each other, through the power of our spoken words of truth and life over each other, that we know that those things can heal and build up. God, I thank you that your words never condemn us. They're never harsh. They're always words of love and words of truth, meant for our healing and meant for our flourishing. So, friends, may the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you. May he be gracious to you and give you his peace. Amen. Have a wonderful day, friends. I am so excited to be with you all tomorrow for church. We'll see you then. Mika, you want to say bye? All right. See you, friends.